Hi there, it's Michelle at Inhale Yoga Studio. I'm coming to you today with a sequence to help tap into that inner warrior goddess. The sequence creates a lot of strength inside the body, but also it cultivates that ability to really deeply surrender. So I hope you enjoy. Please roll out a mat and join me today. So coming to a nice comfortable seat on your mat, feel free to pad up if you find that your knees are up really high, and sit up a little higher on something. And once you get settled in, just close your eyes. Start to connect to your breath so that your inhalations begin to lengthen and your exhalations begin to match that length. Allowing your breath to move freely inside of you so that there's not force or extra effort. Really letting that goddess energy of softness come in. In our practice today, we're going to find that balance between strength and softness. Finding that way in which the strength can bring power and support so that we feel empowered. And also allowing for that ability to be soft, to let go, to take the rest that we need, to draw from that resource of power more fully. So we'll just take a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to bring the hands together at the heart, sending that intention into the space of the heart for practice today. That balance between strength and softness, the warrior and the goddess. And then to set that intention free to begin the practice today, we'll start with the sound of Om. Just taking a nice full, slow, easy breath in. Om. And then just let your head bow towards your heart. Let that intention come in, settle in. And let's release the hands down into the lap, lift up the face and open the eyes. And then from here we're going to make our way into tabletop onto all fours. So stacking your hips over your knees and your shoulders over your wrists. And noticing if your belly tends to sag toward the floor. And if so, try to draw up a little strength there so that you can keep the spine protected. And take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to step the right hand in front of the left. Just drop the left elbow to the floor and scoot the hips back slightly. The head will relax, the neck will relax, the throat and shoulders relax. Let the breath come really full into the right rib cage. And then inhale and return to tabletop. Bring the left hand in front of the right, and when you next exhale, drop your right elbow down and slide the hips back so that you're starting to open up on the left side body. Let the forehead relax down. Let the throat be soft. And then on your next inhale, rise back to tabletop. Now tuck the toes under, and then as you exhale, lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. As you settle into downward dog, start to pedal through the feet, reaching the heels a little closer to the earth to stretch out the calves. Keep the breath moving smooth and free. And then begin to settle into your downward dog. Feeling the toes and the toe mounds try to peel away from the floor instead of pressing through the toes, so that we stretch the calf and keep space on the back side of the body. Lift through the low belly. Feeling that strength, that power, that sense of empowerment. And then as you inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale to press your hips back and look to the front of your mat. And then as you inhale, slowly start to walk forward so that you fold over the legs. And put a nice bend in your legs so that you can just hang down, maybe even grabbing the elbows, letting everything just hang. If you have a little more space in your body, you can begin to straighten your legs. But again, it's all dependent on what your hamstrings and calves are going to give you. So just take it easy. This is the softness. Coming into that warrior goddess and the softness there. And then you're going to release the hands so you can catch the hips. Pull the arm bones into the sockets and get really strong and supported on the back. Then press into the heels. Inhale, lift your chest, come all the way up and into standing. And then as you exhale, pause into Tadasana. So you want to bring the shoulders back over the heels and really root through the heels, keeping the stomach really turned on, and lift through the center chest. Starting with a few Surya Namaskar A's to warm up. Press into your feet. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Maybe look to your thumbs. And then as you exhale, hinge and fold over your legs and bend the knees to keep the hamstrings a little bit protected as you go down. Inhale, draw the spine up, lengthen. And then as you exhale, plant the hands on the floor and step back into plank, the top of your push-up. From here, make sure your shoulders are over your wrist and your butt's not too high or too low. Really engage the core to find that mid-ground. Lots of strength. As you exhale, for a modification, we're going to drop the knees and then bend the elbows, lowering toward the floor all the way. Untuck the toes, pull the arm bones back, and then as you inhale, peel the chest forward, look slightly forward. And then as you exhale, come down. Tuck the toes, press through the hands, and as you inhale, engage the belly and come up in one piece to tabletop. And then come on back, downward facing dog. Again, lift through the toes and the toe mounds so that you ground and root through the heels. Lift through the belly. Find that balance between strength and surrender. And then again, inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, press your hips a little higher as you bend the knees. And then inhale, start to travel forward to the front of your mat. Lift halfway. And then as you exhale, fold down over the legs. Press strongly through the legs. Inhale, come all the way up, reach up. And then as you exhale, bring yourself into Tadasana, letting the arms reach to the side as the chest lifts. Inhale again, reach up. As you exhale, fold over the legs. Halfway lift on your inhalation, draw the shoulders back. And then as you exhale, touch the ground and step back into plank, the top of your push-up. Take a full breath in here and then use the modification or exhale and lower to hover. Inhale, coming to upward facing dog. And exhale, come back, downward facing dog. So choosing today where your power is, it's better to do something with great integrity and do the modifications than to do something more advanced with little integrity, right? We're trying to develop that balance between warrior strength and power and goddess surrender and ease. Inhale to your toes. Exhale, press your hips back, look forward. Inhale, step or walk to the front of your mat, lift halfway, shoulders come back, and then exhale, start to fold down over your legs. Inhale, lift all the way up. Strong press through the feet as you lift. And exhale, return to Tadasana. Deep breath in, deep breath out. One more, A. Inhale, take the arms overhead. As you exhale, hinge and fold down over the legs. Halfway lift on your inhalation, draw the shoulders back. And then exhale, stepping into your plank and lower down, knees dropping or not. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, come back, downward facing dog. Take a few free breaths here, feeling the flow of the inhalation and exhalation as you settle into the body. On your next inhalation, lift through the toes. Exhale, press the heels higher. Inhale, step, jump, or walk to the front of your mat, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold down over your legs. Press strong through your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, standing in your Tadasana for a few breaths. Starting that goddess sequence, take an inhalation, reach the arms up. As you exhale, you're going to hinge and fold over the legs. Take a deep breath to lift halfway, draw the shoulders back, and then we're going to touch the floor and step back with the right foot, turning the foot toward the floor to set up for warrior two. Squeeze the thighs together, and as you inhale, come up. Let your torso turn toward the edge of your mat as your gaze turns toward the front of your mat. Breath in and out, trying to keep the shoulders stacked over the hips, reaching strongly through the fingers. We're going to move this power into softness, so take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale to lift the chest strongly, and then exhale, surrender. Fold to the inside of the left leg as you let the fingertips reach toward the sky. Letting the softness give us the strength to be empowered. As you inhale, we're going to release. Swing the right arm forward. Pull back like you're pulling on a bowstring. And then as you exhale, straighten the front leg and come over, triangle. So in Trikonasana, really pressing down through your feet, spinning up through your right ribs, and grounding down through the lower left ribs. Reach up through the right hand, inhale, come all the way up. And then as you exhale, spin the heels in, sit down deeply as you reach the arms up. This channel of energy opening to the goddess, sitting down, finding that balance between strength and softness. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to spin the toes, hinge and fold down over the legs. Inhale at that halfway point, lengthen your spine a little more, and then as you exhale, slowly start to dip into the space between the legs. Pressing the thighs out, making space for the torso to reach down. Again, there's a little bit of effort here, but we want to go soft too, surrendering the spine to the earth. Inhale, coming to that halfway point, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, we're going to turn to the back of the mat, walk around into a lunge. Take a deep breath in there, and then exhale, step the right foot back and lower down, chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog, and then come on back as you exhale into downward facing dog. Let the breath be smooth and steady. On your next inhalation, come onto the toes. Exhale to press the hips a little higher. Inhale, stepping to the front of your mat. Halfway lift your spine. And then as you exhale, fold over and find that softness. Press into your feet. Inhale, rise and stand, reaching up. And then as you exhale, fold the hands into the heart this time. Close the eyes and pause. For the second side, opening the eyes. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold down. Inhale to halfway lift. We're going to take that left foot now, step it back, turning the foot at an angle to set up for warrior two. Press strong through the feet, and as you inhale, rise into that warrior two. Bending into the front knee, setting that knee over the ankle, and then drawing it toward the pinky toe side of the foot as you square the center chest toward the edge of your mat. Looking over the right fingertips, reaching through the arms. Lots of breath, lots of strength. With your next exhalation, the hands are going to come behind the back and add the softness now. Take an inhalation, and then as you exhale, fold down to the inside of that leg, reaching up through the knuckles as you drop through the heart. Even though the legs are working strongly to help hold and stabilize you, let there be a softness here, connecting to that soft compassion of the goddess. And then inhale to rise. Pull back on that bowstring with your left hand, and then as you exhale, release and come over, triangle pose. Again, sitting way back in that right hip so you can draw along through the right side body, breathing a lot of breath. Strong press into your feet. Inhale, rise up. Send the heels in, and as you exhale, squat down, goddess. So getting really heavy in the seat, but really buoyant in the heart. And inhale, straighten the feet, turn the toes forward, and then as you exhale, folding down halfway. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and then as you exhale, fold over the legs. Let the crown of the head empty toward the floor. Let the spine be long and soft. Inhaling to lift halfway out of the pose. As you exhale, walk to the left, to the front of your mat again, into a lunge. Take a deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, stepping into plank and lowering down, either on your knees or not. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog, and then exhaling back to downward facing dog. Lifting through the toes and the toenails to bring a lot of length to the calf muscle. Again, finding that balance. Strong where you need to be to support the pose, soft everywhere else. With your next inhalation, lift to the toes. As you exhale, press the hips back, look forward. Inhale, step to the front of the mat, lengthen the torso, and then exhale, fold and find softness. Press strong through your feet, draw the belly in as you inhale, come all the way up. And then as you exhale, bring the hands to the side and pause. One more time through that, breath by breath. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, hinge and fold toward the floor. Inhale to find that halfway lift, arm bones draw back. And then exhale, plant the hands and step your right foot back, dropping the heel. Inhale, rise to warrior two. Exhale to settle in. Take a deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, interlace the fingers. Inhale, lift through the chest, and then exhale for that softness as you fold. Take an inhale, reach through the knuckles, and exhale to settle in. Inhale, come up, pull back on your right hand, load that bowstring, and then as you exhale, release and fold down, triangle pose. Inhale to expand, exhale to stabilize. Inhale, rise all the way up, and then as you exhale, spin the heels in and sit down, goddess pose. Inhaling, exhaling to stabilize. Inhale, rise and turn the toes. And exhale, hinge and fold to that halfway point. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and then exhale, soften and surrender as you deepen. Full breath in, length. Exhale, soften. Halfway lift on your inhalation. As you exhale, spin the toes to the back of your mat and walk to the back into a lunge. Inhale. And exhale through a vinyasa, stepping to plank and lowering down. Inhale your cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, come back, downward facing dog. From here, dropping the left foot, and as you inhale, the right foot will come forward so that you're set up for that warrior two. Inhale to rise. Reaching down through the hips. Take a deep breath in to expand. Exhale to soften. Inhaling and then exhale, hands behind the back, interlace, lift your chest on an inhale, and exhale, soften, fold over. Keep reaching through the knuckles as you inhale, exhale for a little more softness. And then inhale, come up, swinging that left arm all the way back to load the bow, and then release as you extend over into triangle pose. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, reach through the top arm, come all the way up. And then as you exhale, spin the heels and sit down, bringing in that power of the goddess. Deep breath. Inhale to stand up, spin the toes forward, and then exhale, dive over the legs halfway. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then as you exhale, make space by pressing the thighs out as you fold deeper in. Inhale to halfway lift. As you exhale, start to walk to the front of your mat, come into that lunge. Take a deep inhalation here, and then as you exhale, step back and run through your vinyasa. Slow, easy breath. At this point, you can hit the pause on the video to do that sequence one more time through. Or if you want to just move on for a short sequence, we're going to rock onto the toes as you inhale. And as you exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, give a little hop to come to seated. And then extend your legs and come into Dandasana. So we want to pull the arm bones into the sockets and really reach down through the heel of the hand. Draw strength into the legs and core as you reach up through the spine. Easy breath. Great, and then as you exhale, releasing Dandasana, I'm going to turn towards you. We're going to take the left heel and bring it to the outside of the right hip, and then cross the right leg over. And for some of you, this may be the stopping point because your hip is really tight, so you're going to stay here. For others, you may have a little bit more room, and you can start to squeeze the knee in so that you start to move the knees on top of each other. We're going to bring the hands in front of the feet. Inhale, and level one is going to lift, and as you exhale, come forward. If you're still with the knee toward the sky, you're just going to stay there, trying to press that right hip down. If you're in this version and you're working this outer hip, you're in the right place. If you want just a little bit more, you're going to inhale, come up, stretch the arms, and then bring the right over the left and spiral around. Take an inhale to lift tall, and then as you exhale, press forward and start to come forward and down. On your next inhalation, wherever you are, come all the way back up. As you exhale, release the hands, lean back so the legs can release, and then extend again and come into Dandasana. And for the second side, we're going to bend the legs, bring the right foot on the outside of the left hip, squeezing it in so the knee's more toward the midline. First level, if you have tight hips, protect your knees and just bring the knee upright. You'll hang out here pressing the hip down. If you have a little more, start to squeeze your legs tighter together and bring the hands in front of the feet. Inhale to sit up tall, and then as you exhale, start to fold forward. You'll feel stretch and opening in the outer left hip. Keep the arm bones drawing back. If you have a little more, you're going to inhale to come up, stretch the arms forward, and then you're going to bring the left arm over the right, spiraling. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, really press forward and reach down. And then from here, inhale, rise all the way up, release the arms, and as you exhale, just lean back and release the legs. Coming into Dandasana, sitting up nice and tall, deep breath in, deep breath out. Excellent. From here, bringing the soles of the feet to sit on the ground. We want to lean back, lift the chest, and pull the arm bones into the socket. And maybe for you today, you just bring the heels barely off the floor. Maybe you need to use the arms to help support you. Maybe you can bring the shins up, but try not to sag, right? We want to keep the chest really lifted, that empowerment rising through the heart. Breathe a lot of breath. Great, and then we're going to add a little more to the core here. If you can, you're going to extend the legs out, roll back, so that now you're hovering just on the sacrum. Again, the arm bones are still pulling back, the chest is still lifting. Reach through the hands, reach through the feet. You may shake, and that's cool. Take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, we're going to lower everything to the ground and pause. Let the breath become full and feel your body soften toward the floor, letting go of all that power, all that strength into a deep, deep softness. Good. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet onto the floor. Trying to find in our body that sense where the ankles and the knees are lining with each other. The hands are going to slide toward the body. Spin the palms down, but keep drawing back through the arm bones. Even make little adjustments so your shoulder blades are more under you. You're going to press through your feet, and as you inhale, lift your hips toward the sky. Pressing down through the hands, down through the shoulders, and down through the heels to get lift through the hips and really tone and strengthen the back side of the body. Try to keep the breath high in the chest rather than lifting and pressing down the belly so that you've got that really nice support from the core for your low back. And then as you exhale, we're going to come all the way down. Relaxing the back, relaxing the effort, finding the softness. From here, let's press the feet into the ground, lift the hips slightly and shift them toward the right. Then you're going to stretch the left leg out, pull the right knee in, and then slowly let the knee drop toward the left side of your mat. Swing the right arm out to a T and let the right shoulder get really heavy. Next inhalation, coming back up, bringing the right foot onto the floor, the left foot, and then lift the hips and bring them back to the center, and just pause for a moment. And then switching directions, we're going to press the feet into the ground, lift the hips and shift them to the left. Stretch out your right leg. Bring the left knee in and then carry it across the body. Letting the left arm extend out to a T. Feeling weight in the left shoulder, weight in the inner left knee. Breathe high into the ribs so that there's a little core support still for the lumbar spine. And then as you inhale, return, bringing the left foot to the floor, and then the right, and then lift and shift the hip center, and pause for a moment. As you exhale, just pull the belly in, pressing the spine flat toward the floor, and you'll feel the tailbone lift a little. As you inhale, you're going to rock the tailbone toward the floor so that you feel your belly stretch and your arch a little more. Exhale, squeeze the belly in so that the back rolls toward the floor and the tailbone lifts. And inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press the arch toward the floor. And inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, we're just going to come to a neutral spine. And then heel toe the feet so they're just a little wider than the hips. And let the knees drop toward one another. When you rest on your back, if it feels throbby to have your legs extended and your lower back isn't happy about that, then I want you to just stay here and allow yourself some time to rest. Otherwise, if it feels okay, we're going to pull the knees apart and then just stretch the legs out from right where they are on the floor, letting the inner ankles turn upward as the outer ankles turn toward the floor, walking the shoulders under you, and maybe just giving the body a little wiggle to help it settle in. And then letting everything come to softness. Resting here, Shavasana, corpse pose. Feeling the energy, the balance of your practice. The legs, the hips, the core, the spine. Feel free to pause this video and take more time here if you need. Otherwise, begin to stretch and wiggle through your fingers and toes, returning a vitality, a power, a strength back into the body. As you inhale, let the arms sweep along the floor until they reach above your head, and maybe even press your toes toward the opposite direction. And then slowly begin to walk your feet in. Press through your feet to lift and shift your hips so you can roll over onto one side. And then just pause on the side in that easy place of transition. And then press through your hands and return to seated. If you used a cushion to lift your hips, please feel free to find that. Otherwise, settling into your easy, comfortable seat. Once you arrive, just let your eyes close, feeling that balance between the hips rooting down and the heart rising up. In our practice, we use these poses to create a deeper sense of strength inside the body, to create that energy of empowerment. But sometimes we can get out of balance with our power, our strength, and our empowerment. And so we need to invite in not only that will and willpower of the warrior, but that soft, gentle compassion of the goddess, to allow ourselves to soften and let go sometimes, to let others have control, to find that place where we can be open in the heart. So as we finish practice today, just taking a few breaths here to feel that balanced energy of strength and power, of empowerment, complemented by that deep, soft ease, that compassion of the goddess. practice today, setting that intention in to carry that energy with us off the mat and into whatever it is that's going on in our life today. We'll bring the hands together at heart center, and we'll finish with vibration of Om, sending that intention now through vibration into the universe to support as we walk off the mat. Please take a nice deep breath in. Thank you for taking the time to join me on the mat today. May the practice bring you that balance of feeling powerful and empowered, but also soft and compassionate. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. If you want to do more classes with me or other great teachers here at Inhale Yoga Studio, you can always come to our studio. Our class schedule is online at www.inhaleyoga.org. Please feel free to get social with us. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and you can also follow me, Michelle Stobart, on Facebook to see what I'm up to outside of the studio. All of our information for contact will follow on the next screen, and if you want more videos like this, subscribe to our channel. Share it with your friends. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.